Okay, I'm not sitting in my proper set, so you know what that means. It's time for a Come With Me review. I got it wrong, I think, in my immaculate review where I was like, next week I'm gonna go see the first Omen. I actually put 2 weeks in between the release of that. Which is probably good, so it wasn't too back to back. But it is time to go see the first Omen. This is a prequel to the original 1972 film. 1976. I knew that off the top of my head. So I made a choice and I did not rewatch the first one before going into this because it's a prequel. And I don't know really if the intention is to just be a prequel and have it, you know, like if you were to watch it in chronological order now, you would watch this one first and then the original Omen, or if they're trying to do their own new thing. So I decided not to rewatch the first one. So the first Omen is revisiting the iconic horror franchise as a dark conspiracy is uncovered that seeks to bring about the birth of evil incarnate. The story follows an American novitiate, Margaret Dano, who begins work at an orphanage in Rome before taking the veil. She soon encounters a dark evil that causes her to question her religious faith as a group within the Catholic Church seeks to bring about the rise of the Antichrist, much like in the original feature. Very similar to Immaculate, kind of. When these two hit streaming, would love to do like a Does This Offend You with these two films. I'm locking it in now. I have a bit more expectation with this one than Immaculate, I think, only because the marketing for the first Omen really popped off like the past week or two. Whoever's doing the marketing for this movie needs a raise. They did great. There was a lot of really cool, creepy videos like I saw on TikTok and on Instagram that at first didn't seem like it was a trailer. Like it looked like a very grainy home video, and then as it went on you realized it was a trailer, to like the super fun images like they posted for Easter. I really enjoy that sort of thing. It drums up excitement for the movie without giving away spoilers. It's giving vibes. Like it's creating a Pinterest board like a Pinterest mood board for the movie just to get you ready without giving everything away. So I'm quite excited to see this. And I didn't realize until a couple minutes ago because I looked it up, but this is directed by a woman as well, which is, so we love to see it. So this is the feature film directorial debut of Arkasha Stevenson. Really hope I said that correctly. So I'm excited. I'm just skimming the headlines for this. It looks like kind of a mixed bag, kind of skewed toward negative. Although one of them is First Omen, a decently executed prequel, pales next to the superior Immaculate. I didn't vibe with Immaculate as much. I didn't hate it, but it just, at least upon first watch, was not for me. Some saying it's more atmosphere than narrative. Stylish horror prequel is damned by its franchise. So there are some good headlines in there, but it seems mostly skewed in a negative light. So I'm interested to see what the vibe is going to be like going in. I opted for like the super big screen this time. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, you know, like the big like IMAX screen. It was an option this evening. So okay, so with that, let's go to the movies and let's check out the first Omen. Here we go. Holy shit. Honestly, that was way better than Immaculate. Wow. Holy shit. I loved that. Like, I loved that. I loved every fucking second of that movie. Wow, wow, wee wah. Where do I fucking start? The story was so much more interesting than Immaculate, I have to say. The whole idea of a faction of the church trying to bring about the Antichrist actively to
give people to fear, to bring them back to the church, even though this is not set in modern day, obviously, given it's a prequel, is so appropriate for modern times. It works so well. It's very much reflective of general feelings of the Catholic Church, of Christianity nowadays, the growing and growing and growing discontent, the war that Christianity wages on women's bodies, feminine presenting people's bodies, uterus owners' bodies. It was all in there. I'm sorry. I hate to compare it to Immaculate so much. I'm very much going to enjoy rewatching Immaculate, but I feel like this just did it better. So the story, incredible. I was gripped from the opening scene. Gore, holy moly. It's been a minute since I've watched something where I squirmed that much. Wow. Very visceral, very like gory, but in like kind of like a real sense, like given that, you know, you figure somebody potentially is giving birth to the Antichrist. It gets into it, okay? It gets into it, and it is wow. Loved the homage to Possession. I'm sure you can guess which scene they paid homage to, but I won't spoil like when it happens. But wow. Nell Tiger-Free, who plays Margaret, the main character, incredible. I want to be her. I want to be her. She was amazing, put on a great performance, fucking loved it. I'm just gonna keep comparing them, and I'm so sorry, but the character development was even better with her. Like, she had just a little bit more depth to her as somebody who is potentially going to be a nun, be a sister, give her life to God. I got a little bit more of her motivation. We got to learn a little bit about her. They gave her character something, and I really appreciated that. Oh my God, this movie was gorgeous. Almost for the entire movie. Maybe not certain parts, but a good portion of this movie, like, you could just pause on any frame and it would be gorgeous. Really stylized, but in like a fun way. Which seems weird to say because this is a pretty dark movie, I have to say. The set, I don't know where they filmed some of this stuff. I don't know if it was in like real places. It was beautiful and old, but like beautiful and old, that's scary. You know what I mean? Which I feel like is something that almost can only be achieved when you're talking about like a religious place. And I'm hoping some of you are picking up what I'm putting down, what I mean by that. Like, it's like architecturally it's really gorgeous, but it's like so old, and the fact that like any sort of like ritualistic thing has been done in that place like makes it kind of scary, if that makes sense. And that feeling definitely permeated the movie. The music, the fucking music. A lot of choirs singing in Latin, which is what I wanted. It's so scrumptious in a religious horror movie. A lot of like booming basses that kind of just like rattle your bones, and high notes that really ring in your ears. I think like going to see it on like the big screen worked out really well for all like the little noises, a lot of little whispers and things, even when it was completely quiet. And woo, there were some scary ass scenes, I have to say. Honestly, this movie got me. A good amount of jump scares, but also some really like intensely scary scenes that I was just like glued to the seat. Like, I couldn't move. I almost like didn't breathe during some moments. Awesome. I think they paid tribute to the original Omen in like all the right ways without it being super derivative or feeling like they were just riffing off of like the best moments of the original movie. It's only April, which still feels really early in the year, and there's a lot more horror to come this year, but this is one of my favorites of the year so far. And I never thought I'd say that about a religious horror movie. So if you were thinking of going to see the first Omen and you weren't sure and you're watching this video, I would go see it in the theater, honestly, on a big screen with a really good sound system. Would highly recommend. I'm not like an expert on the Omen franchise, but with it being a prequel, I think I was correct in like, you don't need to watch the first one again to go see this. Any of you that have seen it already and you're watching this video, please tell me what you thought in the comments. And because everybody's gonna be doing it because they got released so close together, tell me how it compared to Immaculate for you. But I'm really interested to hear what people thought of both of these films. So speaking of, if you're watching this video and you want to watch more, you can check out my review of Immaculate, which came out 2 weeks ago now. Very similar vibes. And I will see you next week with some new videos. A lot of new horror releases this month, so expect a lot of movie reviews. Not all of them religious though. I think we're done with the religious horror for a little bit at least. So I'll see you soon. Until then, stay strange. Bye.